Greetings from the Daily Gamepad. Got a product in here today from KontrolFreek.com. Now these two products here are simultaneously can work for both the PS3 and the Xbox 360 controllers for the directional analog stick. So, alright, first things first. Have you guys noticed one thing about most of these controllers? After a while, your fingers begin to slip off these things. I mean, granted, some of these do have good grip on them, but have you noticed after a while they start wearing out on you and you end up fingers keep on slipping off in important situations? There's important parts during a match. Don't you just hate that sometimes? We've been doing some research, looking up controller accessories and looking up all this interesting stuff, and we came across this KontrolFreek quite a few times actually during our research. As for us, we're all about searching for different stuff across the interwebs and sharing it with everybody. And we found this website. We thought it was quite interesting that they're actually sanctioned for the UCG and the MLG events around the world. And it's quite interesting that, these are such a simple looking product, but yet they supposedly can give you an excellent caliber or an improvement with your control over these controllers that you have nowadays. Of course, these can work for obviously the classic PlayStation 1 and the PlayStation 2 controllers as well. But most likely these would be more sought after the competitive gaming scene. Now, first one we're going to look at is the FPS FREEK. Now, as you see by the product here enclosed, it looks like it's in a guitar-style plastic case where you keep the picks from. Well, simply enough, it ain't one of those type of things you have to grab a knife for to rip it open. I can just easily pop this open and grab my product. So, as you see right here, you get two for a set, and, well, not too bad for the price, I suppose. But, alright, first things first, let's dig into this. Alright, so first thing we're going to look at is the FPS Gamer Freak Control Accessory Pack. As you can see right here, it's obviously looks just like it would for a standard directional pad. Now, this was easily to get taken out of this little cardboard bit here. So again, looks sort of like a rook from a chess piece. Haven't played much chess in my life, I suppose, but looks sort of like a chess piece. Now you would probably look at this and first impressions would be it looks like it's going to be cheaply made or something like that. However, I could tell just by the little arches here that it looks like it's going to be firmly shoved into this. Now I'm going to be using my PS3 controller here, and I'm just going to... Now, I am going to have some gameplay for this after showing my responses on my fingers with the controller, just quite how this would work. Now again, these are sanctioned by MLG standards, so these are legit type of stuff. These do come for $15, includes free shipping. I've, of course, looked this up beforehand, trust me, as you see in the background here. And it's... So far, I could feel the controller has a little bit more of a looser feel to it, like it feels like I can faster respond. I'm going to use an FPS game, preferably for the 360 as well. I'm going to play a little bit of some multiplayers so I can, show off what the experience is like, as well as some gameplay. But so far, I can feel like I can move around like a bat out of hell with this. Now, if I take out the second one here, I'm going to make sure it hooks, or it snugs, or hugs underneath the analog sticks there. As you can see right here, it looks more elevated and more now this actually feels quite interesting because my fingers are so pushed up, or my hands are actually behind. It's interesting how they set this up. And I feel like I got more controls over the L3 and the R3 as well, like I can rapidly almost mess around with that. Now again, I feel like there's more control and more freedom with my fingers a little bit here. Like so far, I'm just kind of enjoying this on the PS3 controller. Now the 360 controller just can be universally used as well, because of the fact that it can be taken off like so, and placed on. I mean, for the 360, it's kind of, I would want to say, a little bit awkward, because my controller, of course, has been through many wars in its lifetime, but as you can see here, I'm getting this in, alright, making sure, yep, it feels pretty good on the 360 controller as well. like I actually got some good control. See, this control is a little bit bigger than the PS3 counterpart. It does, you know, I can feel like this is a lot more looser, meaning I got a lot more control with this. And with this, you know, I guess I can kind of go like this with do that Street Fighter thing. You know, feels kind of good nonetheless. I mean, above all else though, I feel like I got, you know, more room where I can actually, you know, target somebody. One of the problems though I can see with this is like most gamers, when they're doing bad BC2 though, like if sometimes people have a habit when they use their left thumb, I could see this being a small problem if they're not quick enough. Because see they're trying to, because there's so much grip on this, you can kind of go like, I mean, it's a little bit of a problem. It's not too big of a deal. Just some people do this out of habit when they play in this usually. I mean, you can just move this right thumb over here and go, yo, what's up? And like, you know, just target someone or tag somebody during the multiplayer gameplay. I feel like I got much more speed moving around with this thing. I'm going to show you guys some gameplay now with the FPS counterpart.
Boogeyman 2, the fire base is lost.
Hey, requesting pickup.
Position cleared and under control. Walk 2, we lost the fire base. Coordinates received. Fire mission confirmed. One shell guided infantry in the area.
With the SpeedFreek, this is for more of those kind of gamers that like games like, and you know, those go-kart games you like to play on PS3. I won't like to name a few, but nonetheless, it's kind of interesting product that it's set up where you can actually have this arch to it. Now you're probably thinking, what is that going to do for me? Well, a lot of speed freaks move their fingers so much so sometimes when they steer, it's a little bit hard for them to keep their fingers perfectly on the controller. As you can see, my fingers are kind of sliding across it, so it's going to fly off sometimes. This is again for like people who really go crazy. But, alright, this is what the SpeedFreek attachment looks like. It kind of looks like it's a missing piece of something, but it's obviously a missing piece of this controller. So, I'm going to slide it on. I'm going to be a little bit firm with it as well. Not too firm, because this is a little bit more... Alright. It's on there. Now, you can slide these around. And of course, there you go. There you go. Now, depending on how you want to angle it, you can just go like this. And so far, I feel like I can take sharp turns and everything. So, strap in and here we go.
3, 2, 1.
Fine drafting, Rainbow Sprinkles. Too bad your clothes still make my soul hurt. Suffering snakes.
In closing, I'd like to thank Kontrolfreeks, Anthony, for of course sending this product in. Now we were able to play with it a little bit, getting some gameplay experience in, and I gotta say, it was not really a bad experience at all. I was actually enjoying playing some of the gameplay of BC2 with the analog stick. with the extra accessory. The accessory, of course, was very, very, very accurate. Like, I was actually able to take, like, sharp spins and, like, you know, do these 360s. Because, of course, I was using this for the turning aspect more than the actual strafing. So, I was actually feeling I could take, like, quicker, sharp turns versus, you know, doing the simple, let's just spin around kind of thing. But, in closing, I thought the FPS FREEK was a perfect attachment, however, for the PS3. With the Xbox 360's analog setup, it isn't necessarily the product's fault. It's more of how this analog was designed, where it would actually pop out or perhaps do something dangerous to this. I mean, it was firm and it actually moved and responded how I wanted it to. It was just the problem that this is, of course, a little bit dangerous. If you have an old or dated Xbox 360 controller, this could cause something that could make it loose. So in closing, Kontrolfreek did hit a knockout with this controller attachment accessory. I mean, there's some flaws, of course, being that if you have an Xbox 360 controller, it could damage or it could potentially put this out of commission if you pull it off wrong. So you gotta be really careful with this component. Well, I didn't really have much more of a problem with the PS3 controller due to the fact that way it's designed. So, I mean, checks and balances, these are pretty solid products. I mean, they may look simple. I mean, the price could, of course, push a lot of gamers off because they think it's just a simple piece of plastic. Taking it into consideration, though, and all the assets offered, $14.99 is what the price is for these products. I would say get these if you're a hardcore FPS or driver fan, and you feel like trying new things out there for your controller as well as your gaming experience. If you're into that whole entire, let's have that competitive edge versus my friends, I would definitely recommend this if you're a PS3 fan, to definitely get the FPS FREEK for your controller, because it can give you an advantage, believe it or not, with spinning around, because I was like going like a bat out of hell with this thing, with my controller. So again, really great for the PS3. As for those fans like Gran Turismo, the SpeedFreek again is a dead winner for the PS3 controller versus the 360 one. Now, I don't want to hear no fanboys go, oh, see, that's why the PS3 is better. It has nothing to do with the console itself. It's just the fact that most of my core audience is 360 fans, being FPS fanatics. So therefore, it'd be more bench pressed towards that. And this, of course, being that the PS3 is more benched towards driving games, this is an awesome attachment because you can take sharp turns if you want with this controller and not feel so constricted to that product. So therefore, I think these would be really excellent for the PS3 controller. Good for the 360 controller if it has a strong hold on the analog stick. But other than that, this is Dan Van Dam from the Daily Gamepad saying thank you very much to Kontrolfreek.com for allowing us to try out these products. And other than that, I'd like to see you guys. And thank you guys so much for watching. Take care.